Shalakaya Chakshurmiritam Yena Tassamai Shri Gurave Namah. So I'd like to welcome you to the second day of the seminar on prayers of Prahlad Maharaj. And yesterday we had some homework. And the homework was, how is Krishna calling you? How is he calling you? So did anybody have that experience that Krishna was calling you to do something today or yesterday night? At least I know two people had that experience because yesterday Giriraj dropped his necklace and somebody was called to go and find the necklace of Giriraj. So that happened last night after the program. So we will start today. Yesterday we gave you some papers. Actually, you should bring those papers every day. It would be good if you bring the papers. So we had a chart. I think it's on page 2. Yes, page 2 of your papers, and it has the numbers of the verses, and then what is the explanation of, or the summary of the verse. So yesterday we heard how the remedies are worse than the disease, and the best thing is to have devotional service. That's the best remedy for all suffering. And today we're going to hear why we should surrender to Krishna. There are so many reasons. And Prahlad, in every verse of every prayer, he will tell us why. Why? Because we think, why should I surrender? Better I surrender to my boss, to my wife, to my husband. But we should also surrender to Krishna. That is the most important surrender in our life. So verse 20 you do have, if you have your paper, it's still on page 1, I think, of the verses. Then tomorrow we'll try to bring some more papers, in case you all forgot your papers. So this is verse 20. I'll sing one line, and who has a paper can repeat after me. Yasmin yato yahi yena cha yasya yasmad. Yasmin yato yahi yena cha yasya yasmad. Yasmai yata yad utayasta para va. Yasmai yata yad utayasta para va. Bhava karoti vikaroti britak swabhava. Bhava karoti vikaroti britak swabhava. Sanchoditas tadakilam bhavata swarupam. Sanchoditas tadakilam bhavata swarupam. My dear Lord, everyone in this material world is under the modes of material nature, being influenced by goodness, passion, and ignorance. Everyone, from the greatest personality, Lord Brahma, down to the small ant, works under the influence of these modes. Therefore, everyone in this material world is influenced by your energy. The cause for which they work, the place where they work, the time when they work, the matter to which they work, the goal of life, they have considered final, and the process for obtaining this goal, all are nothing but manifestations of your energy. Indeed, since the energy and energetic are identical, all of them are but manifestations of you. So here we have many different cases in Sanskrit and many different words, and it's showing how Krishna is everything. Yasmin, in any condition of life, Krishna is there. Yataha, because of anything. So because of Krishna, we are all here, and anything is happening. Yarhi means at any time. At any time of the day or night, you should search for Krishna. He's there. Yena, buy something, means it is by Krishna. Yasya, in relationship with anyone. So our real relationship is with Krishna. Yasmat, from any cause, that cause is Krishna. Yasmai, unto anyone, you should give it to Krishna, unto Krishna. Yata, in any manner. In any manner, it should be done in relation with Krishna. Yat, whatever it may be, yakaroshi, yadashnashi, yadadasi, you should give it to Krishna. Whatever you have, whatever you do, whatever you eat, offer it to Krishna. And yeah, anyone. Anyone can serve Krishna. Bhavata Surupam. So Krishna and his energy are everything. And Prahlad could see this. He could see how Krishna is everywhere. Even if you go to the school, even if you go to the office, Krishna is there. But only people like Prahlad can see. For us it's difficult to see Krishna in the office, in the school, in the street. But he's everywhere. And Prahlad is telling us how we can see Krishna everywhere, at any time, at any place. The Chatur Shloki, Srimad Bhagavatam, in Canto 2, explains there is one, the last verse says that we should search for Krishna sarvatra and sarvada. Means everywhere and always. That should be our purpose in life. So now we do have a prayer that I want to sing with you, and it's on your prayer sheet, the last page of your papers. If you have your papers, it's on the last page when it's called prayers, and it's the second prayer. And I will sing one phrase, and then I will sing and you can repeat that phrase after me, and then we'll say the English. So this one is using the Sanskrit to show how Lord Chaitanya is everything. Not only is Krishna everything, Lord Chaitanya is everything. And how we should surrender to Lord Chaitanya. So here is the first phrase. Gora sascharitam mitam mitanidhi. Sing. Gora sascharitam mitam mitanidhi. Lord Gora is the nectar reservoir of divine nectarian pastimes. Goram sadeva stute. Goram sadeva stute. I always chant the glories of Gora. Gorena patitam rahasya bhajanam. Gorena patitam rahasya bhajanam. The most esoteric form of worship mood of the gopis was preached by Gora. Goraya sarvam dade. Goraya sarvam dade. I offer everything unto Gora. Gora asti kripalo atrala paro. Gora asti kripalo atrala paro. Other than Gora, there is no one in this world as merciful. Gora sapritya bhavam. Gora sapritya bhavam. I'll become the servant of Gora. Gore Goravam Acharami. Gore Goravam Acharami. I act in reverence centered on Gora. Bhagavan Gora Prabhu Rakshamam. Bhagavan Gora Prabhu Rakshamam. O Gora Prabhu, O Supreme Lord, please protect me. So I will say the translation of the whole thing. I pray to Shriman Gauranga Mahaprabhu, whose ecstatic transcendental pastimes are like a river of nectar. Gora has given the path of confidential devotional service. I will completely surrender to Gora. Is there anyone more merciful than Gaura. May my Lord Gaura protect me. So that is how Lord Chaitanya is everything. Now again, if anybody needs Hindi translation, there is one Mataji in back, and she will do Hindi translation for you, if you need that. Okay, so now we will continue. The first reason why we should surrender to Krishna is because He's everything. We cannot avoid Him. He's everywhere. He's in our senses, He's in our mind, He's everywhere. Now the second reason is verse 21, where Prahlad says that, O Lord, you have created our subtle bodies by your external energy agitated by time, and so the mind is trapping us in this body because of unlimited varieties of desires to be fulfilled. Who can get free from this entanglement unless he takes shelter of your lotus feet? So the problem is the mind. We are trapped by the mind. How does the mind trap us? What is it that we have that, why do we want to stay in this material world? Because we have unlimited desires to enjoy. So we have this body, we have this gross body. Inside this gross body is the subtle body, made of mind, intelligence. And what is this subtle body made of? Why does it keep going? So many desires. So this is a trap. We are trapped by our own mind. We cannot get out. So therefore Prahlad says, please help me to get out. Now I will surrender to you because I want to get out of this trap of my mind. This is too much suffering for me. Now verse 22 is also a very interesting verse, and this is more about time. Prahlad says, time is your representation, but I am being crushed by the wheel of time. Please, so now I surrender, take me under the protection of your lotus feet. So have anybody here has experienced being crushed by the wheel of time? We are all being crushed. Maybe not the children, but I think they have their schoolwork, so that's enough to be crushed also. Just the school bag is enough. They have to carry every day, and they have to travel. I don't know if they have to go very far, but some of them do. So even the children are being crushed by the exams, the wheel of time of the exams. And so that's why we should surrender. We don't want to be crushed. Like I was talking today with one devotee, and they were saying, yes, now my school is finished. Now I have to go to the grind of work. So it is time. Time is grinding us in the school. Time is grinding us in the work. If you go on the train, then you know what I mean. The train in Bombay, you are being crushed by the wheel of time, literally. I used to ride the train many years ago to do book distribution, and I understand what it means to be crushed by the wheel of time in the Bombay trains. So this is why we should surrender, because if we are serious, then we will pray like Lord Chaitanya. Okay, I'm in this ocean. I've fallen in this ocean. Somehow I'm your servant, but I've fallen in this ocean of material life. Just recently, my son, he put on his Facebook cover, pick one picture of an ocean, and one hand is coming out like this, and the hand is saying, yeah, everything's okay, everything's all right. But everything is not all right, because this is the news. We are just like suffering, drowning in the ocean, and we have one hand up and we think we're okay. One hand is out of the ocean, yes, I'm in control, and yes, everything is all right. So then I put this prayer, oh my Lord, I'm your eternal servant. Somehow I've fallen in this ocean of the material world. Please pick me up. This is the reality, that we are not okay in this world. It is a very difficult place to be, and there are problems every day. So, verse 23 tells us another reason why we should surrender. So, verse 23 is about how the world is temporary. How it is temporary. Prahlad says, people in general want to go to higher planets for a long duration of life, opulence and enjoyment. But I have seen all of these through my father's activities. Of course, now the higher planets means Europe and America, or maybe Australia. Australia is doing very well economically. It's like Swarga. So these are the higher planets that people want to go to. Even they can't wait for next life. Nobody does these yagas anymore for going to heaven, heavenly planets. The heavenly planets are here, and they do their austerities in the schools, and so they can go to these heavenly planets of the West. But Prahlad saw that he got control of heaven, and when he was angry and he laughed at the demigods, then they were finished. If he just flicked his eyebrow, the demigods would be so afraid. But now his father is finished in a second by Lord Nrsimhadev. So all of these things, this position we have in this world, can be finished very, very quickly. So I used to preach in New Zealand. There is one city called Churchgate. And Churchgate is a place of earthquakes. There was one earthquake in Churchgate, and within 45 seconds, the whole city business district was finished in the earthquake. So, if you go to visit that city, you will see the speed signs, speed limit, 40, temporary, 30, temporary, because they didn't build the city again, they're just waiting, but you really feel like it's temporary over there. And I did experience a few earthquakes when I was there, not earthquake, tremors they call them. That one time I was sleeping 9:30 at night, and then I was in a house with 4 children, and in the bottom, and they were on the top, and I said, wow, the children are running a lot, they're making so much noise. But then the house started shaking back and forth, and I realized it wasn't the children, that there was an earthquake. And but then when I went out to see what happened, it only lasted a few seconds. Everyone was on the computer because they have a game in the earthquake zone. What is the scale on the Richter scale? What is the scale of the earthquake? What is the number? So they were all guessing 4.6, 4.7, and some of them were right. But this, so they kind of joke about it, but actually it's a serious thing. And it shows how this world is temporary, very temporary. When the earth starts moving, then you feel like you have no security. You don't know, you completely lose your balance. Because we kind of have faith that the earth is not going to move. We have a lot of faith. But if you live in a country like that, then your faith is finished in that. So this is a reason why to surrender, because it's temporary. Everything is temporary. So far we have 3 reasons why we should surrender. That is a trap. We're trapped by our mind. We're being crushed by time, and everything is finished in a second. Now the next verse, 24, explains that how we should get out of this world, how to surrender. Prahlad says that all these things in this world are destroyed by time. So I don't want anything here. Just give me association of your devotees. That's what I want. Give me an association of your pure devotee and let me be his servant. So this is the conclusion, that everything is temporary, especially happiness in this world is very, very temporary, very fast, very flickering. So therefore we want to be servant of the devotee. Now, Srila Prabhupada when he came, he showed us, he gave us Krishna, he gave us Bhagavad Gita, and if you read Bhagavad Gita, you will see sometimes Krishna is very, very strict. But if you read the purports, Prabhupada is very merciful. He will even, Krishna will say, don't preach to the non-devotees. Prabhupada said, yes, it's okay, we have class. The non-devotees will come. What can we do? We have to preach. So this is the mood of the devotee, that they understand the heart of Krishna, and so they are more merciful even than Krishna. So, Srila Prabhupada was more merciful than Krishna. Krishna, he came and he spoke to Arjuna, who was very elevated devotee. And Prabhupada, he went to the slums of New York, and there was all these drunkards lying on the path. He didn't preach to them, but he preached to the people who were just living very, very poorly in New York City. Of course, they were college graduates, but they had left their homes and were living like hippies. So Prabhupada was more merciful. He even gave respect to the drunkards who were lying on the street in front of his door. And sometimes they would respect him. They would get up and open the door for him. They would see, oh, here's a saintly person, let me do something. And many, many years later, one of them remembered Prabhupada and said, you know, he was a great saint. He was a great saint. He even respected us. So can anybody tell me, how is Prabhupada more merciful than Krishna? Any other ways he is more merciful? He preached, of course, to the lechas, the yavanas, to everybody. He accepted everyone as a devotee of Krishna. Any other examples you can think of how Prabhupada is more merciful than Krishna? Yes? Going to the spiritual world is very difficult. Prabhupada has the back key to the back door. Yeah. So he will take us. We just have to chant 16 rounds and follow the 4 regulative principles. Very good. Prabhupada will let us in the back gate. So verse 25, another reason why to surrender. It says here, everyone wants some happiness. Like a mirage in the desert. Does everybody know what is a mirage? Have you seen mirage? No. Some of you say yes, some of you say no. Mirage means like if you're going on the road on a very hot day and you see water coming from the road. Water is not there, and it keeps moving ahead. So in this world, we see happiness. And it's like the water on the road, and it keeps moving ahead. We try to go and get it, but it keeps moving. So that is the happiness of this world. The news, Yudhisthira Maharaj was asked the question by Yamaraj, what is the news of this world? So the news is that we are all being cooked in a pot on the stove. And who is the cook? Does anybody know who is cooking us? Huh? Time. Time is cooking us. Time is the cook. Time is crushing. Time is cooking. Also, time is torturing us in many ways. So yes, we are being cooked. So we cannot be happy here in the frying pan of this material world, in the pot being cooked. So therefore, we should surrender to Krishna. So we have heard some very negative reasons why we should surrender. It's temporary, we're being crushed, we're being trapped by the mind, and there's no happiness here. Now 26 tells us a very positive reason why we should surrender to Krishna. Prahlad says, "O Lord, I am born in a family of demons, demonic qualities, but I got your causeless mercy, which you did not give even to Brahma, Shiva, or Lakshmi. You never put your hand on their heads, but you put your hand on my head." So Lakshmi Ji, she is in Shrivan, across the Jamuna River from Vrindavan. She is doing austerities. Normally if you go to Lakshmi temple, you see she's giving blessings. But not in this temple. In this temple she's sitting in the yoga posture and she's begging blessings. She's begging mercy. In January month, Magh Mela, the Brijbasis go across the river and they bring kitri for Lakshmi because she's eating kitri. She's doing austerities. And she is begging their blessing. She wants to go on that side of the Jamuna and join Rasa dance. But no, not yet. She cannot go. She has to stay there. And so the Brijbasis, they come, they give her kitchi and they give blessings to Lakshmi. Everybody wants Lakshmi's blessings, but the devotee can't even give blessings to Lakshmi. So here Prahlad is saying, yes, you favor your devotee even more than Lakshmi. You favor your devotee. So if we surrender to Krishna, we will get some special mercy. Causeless. Causeless means there is no cause for the mercy and we don't deserve the mercy. That's what causeless. Causeless means mercy is coming which we don't deserve. Just like if you were to walk out the street and without doing any work, some $100 bills are falling from the sky and you just have to catch. That's causeless. No reason why it should happen. But for devotees this happens sometimes. In the beginning, in the early days, when in I think San Francisco, they had no money to pay the rent. So it was time to pay and they walked out the door and they saw money falling on the street and they picked it up and they paid the rent. So this will happen. I mean, I'm not promising you this, no. If you surrender to Krishna, money is not going to fall on the street. But this is just an example to help you understand what is causeless. You didn't work for that money, you didn't deserve it, but still it's coming. So what determines how much mercy we get? That's the next prayer of Prahlad, where he says that you offer your benedictions according to the level of one's service. So what this means is that we are receptive to the mercy, we get it. If we close ourselves, we won't get the mercy. So the more we serve, the more open we become to getting causeless mercy of Krishna. Now, verse 28, you have this, if you have the paper, if you brought it, you have this on your sloka, page 2. Verse 7, 9, 28. We'll sing it together. Evam janam nipatitam prabhavahi kupe. Evam janam nipatitam prabhavahi kupe. Kama vikamam anuya prapatan prasangat. Kama vikamam anuya prapatan prasangat. Kritva masat surashina bhagavan kihita. Kritva masat surashina bhagavan kihita. Soham katan vishije tava pritya sevam. Soham katan vishije tava pritya sevam. My dear Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, because of my association with material desires, one after another, I was gradually falling into a blind well full of snakes, following the general populace. But your servant Narada Muni kindly accepted me as his disciple and instructed me how to achieve this transcendental position. Therefore, my first duty is to serve him, but I leave his service. So now, this verse and the next is about serving the servant, becoming servant of the servant. And why is it better to be servant of the servant than to serve Krishna directly? Very important point. So Prahlad Maharaj, he's face to face with Lord Nrsingadev. So what is he saying to Lord Nrsingadev? He's saying, okay, here I am, here we are. What can I do for you, my Lord? He said, no. He says, what can I do for my Guruji, Narada Muni? I want to serve your servant. That is what I want to do. So this is what he is asking. I want to serve your servant. Now here it says that in this world we are fallen into a blind well full of snakes. Does anybody know what are the snakes? What are the snakes that are biting us? Lust. What are the snakes? They're the senses. The eyes, the ears, they are biting us. They want to have something of this world. Go to this restaurant, look there, go to the cinema. Yes, go to the movies. So we are being bitten by these snakes. So how to take out the poison? We use the senses to serve Krishna. Then they cannot bite anymore. We can use our eyes to see the beautiful deities downstairs in the temple. We can use our tongue to eat Krishna prasadam, and there will be prasadam after this class you can have. We can use our senses like this and they won't bite us anymore. So, we will have a discussion now. Why is it better to be servant of the servant of Krishna than to directly serve Krishna? So we heard one reason already. The devotee is more merciful than Krishna. That's why it's one reason why. Any other reasons why is it better to be servant of the servant than to directly serve Krishna? Why is it better? Any other ideas? Why is it better to be servant of the servant? Because Krishna is more pleased if you serve the servant than if you serve him. Krishna says, if you say you're my devotee, then you're not my devotee. One who says he's devotee of my devotee, he's my devotee. Okay, the second reason Krishna is pleased. You get also more blessings. If you serve the servant, if you serve Srila Prabhupada, then there's Bhakti Siddhanta, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Gaurkishore, so many. And you get all of their blessings. Just by serving one. By serving your Guru, then you serve Prabhupada, then Bhakti Siddhanta, all the way up. So many blessings you will get just by serving the servant. So these are many reasons. We'll hear another reason in the next verse. But before we go to the next verse, I want to tell you a little story about a friend of mine. Her name was Nanda. She left her body in Vrindavan about 2 years ago. Before she left her body, she had a vision of Srila Prabhupada. She was walking with Prabhupada on the path back to Godhead. Prabhupada was next to her. Prabhupada was taking her So then, on both sides of the path, there were people, and they were criticizing. And they were saying, oh, she cannot go back to Godhead. She is not intelligent. She didn't do her sadhana nicely because she was in Vrindavan. She came 20 years ago to die in Vrindavan. And she was in the bed for 20 years, dying. It took a long time. So she couldn't do her sadhana properly. She couldn't do, so people, oh, she couldn't do her sadhana. Oh, she's a woman, she's not qualified. So then all these complaints were coming on both the sides. So Prabhupada turned to the people who were complaining. And Prabhupada said, it's all right, she's with me. So, that was her vision before she left her body. So if we just stay with Prabhupada, we may sometimes not be able to do our sadhana so nicely. But if we sincerely try, she was always trying to read, trying to chant, although she couldn't do it so nicely. But she was trying for 20 years. Sometimes she was so weak, she couldn't put her hand in her bead bag. How could she chant? But she was trying her best in her condition. So if we simply try to serve Krishna, we try to do our sadhana, try to do our devotional service. If we simply follow Prabhupada, then he will take us back to Godhead. No doubt. No doubt. He is more merciful than Krishna. So, therefore, it's better to be servant of the servant than to serve Krishna directly. Now in verse 29, Prahlad is going to tell us another very important reason why it's better to be servant of the servant than to serve Krishna directly. Prahlad says, "Oh my Lord, you have killed my father, Hiranyakashipu, and saved me from his sword. He said very angrily, if there is any supreme controller other than me, let him save you. I'll now cut your head from your body." Therefore, I think, Prahlad says, both in saving me and in killing him, you have acted just to prove true the words of your devotee. There is no other cause. So, here is the next reason why it's better to be servant of the servant. If the servant of Krishna says something, if he says some words, then Krishna must fulfill the promise of the devotee. He must fulfill those words. So, here we see that in two ways, two devotees' words were proven true in the Prahlad Lila. First of all, when Nrsingadev killed Hiranyakashipu, he kept the promise or the words of one devotee true. Which devotee's words were kept true when Nrsingadev killed Hiranyakashipu? In killing Hiranyakashipu, he had to keep some words true. Brahma, yes, Lord Brahma said, not in the day, not in the night, not in the land, not in the air, not in the water, not by human, not by animal, not by demigod. So he kept all the words true when he killed Lord Nrsingadev. Sorry, Nrsingadev killed Hiranyakashipu. So then second, another devotee's words he kept true when he protected, when he saved Prahlad Maharaj from being killed. There was another devotee who said, nobody can kill Prahlad. Which devotee? Narada Muni, very good. Narada Muni, he kept his words true. So he kept Brahma's words true by killing Hiranyakashipu. He kept Narada's words true by protecting Prahlad Maharaj. So, it's better to be servant of the servant because if the devotee says something, it must come true. In Prabhupada, in his lecture on this verse, he said, even if a devotee may say something wrong, Krishna must make it true. He must make it true. That's Krishna. And Prabhupada said that in his lecture, if the servant of Krishna says, I'll take you to Krishna Loka, then you must go. Even Krishna cannot do that. Prabhupada said, Krishna cannot take you so easily to Krishna Loka, but the devotee can. If you follow the devotee, he will take you. So, there's an example. Juhu Bombay, there was one man, Mr. Seti. Mr. Seti was into construction work. So, when we first came to Juhu, the first devotees, foreign devotees, there was no place for us to live. We just had to live on the land. There was no apartment. There was no flat. There was no room. The men were living in a hut on the land. The ladies were living on the roof, the chatai, on the roof of the building. And it was summer, May month, when we came. And there was no drinking water. There was one matka with a top, and you take off the top, and out all the mosquitoes would come from our drinking water, and we have to drink this water. No choice. No, we were all sick. So this man, Mr. Seti, he decided to build rooms for Prabhupada's disciples on top of the flats in the back of the land. And one day, Mr. Seti came to see Srila Prabhupada, covered with cement, covered with dust, in his work clothes. Prabhupada said to Mr. Seti, just as you are building rooms for my disciples, Krishna is building rooms for you in Goloka Vrindavan. So, Jai. And Mr. Seti said, but Swamiji, I am very sinful. How can I go to Goloka Vrindavan? Prabhupada said, that I will see you go. He went. This Mr. Seti left his body. We all know where he went. He went to Goloka because Prabhupada said he must go. One devotee was telling me a story. The first Rath Yatra in San Francisco, there were devotees. It was just on the back of a truck, and some hippies were there, not devotees, just helping. And they were helping with the prasadam, helping with the decoration. So after the Rath Yatra, Prabhupada was so pleased. He said, each and every one of you will go back to Godhead in this life. And some of them, didn't even know what back to Godhead is, They were kind of half drugged. But anyway, he said it, so the one devotee was asking me, how is this possible? These hippies, how can they go? I said, well, Prabhupada said, must go. They must go. So this is the benefit of serving the servant of Krishna. Why is it better? His words must come true. His words must come true. So that's what happened to me in my life at Prabhupada. When I was in Mayapur, Prabhupada came to Calcutta, he asked, and the Sanskrit editor asked me to come to type with Prabhupada. He said, we are doing Chaitanya Charitamrita. You just have to learn to read Bengali, and we are leaving tomorrow. He gave me the book. I said, no problem, I want to go with Prabhupada. I want to go. So he gave me the book. I learned to read Bengali off Next day I went with Prabhupada to Mayapur, and I was typing Chaitanya Charitamrita. I had earphones, and I had a big Bengali book, and I was reading Bengali. I was listening, I was hearing and reading, and putting it, transliterating to English letters, the Bengali. Prabhupada came and he saw me. He said, "Oh, you know Bengali?" I said, "Yes, Srila Prabhupada." I just knew how to read, a little bit. He said, "Come to my room." I came to his room. He said, "So, you know Bengali?" "Yes, Srila Prabhupada." So he said, "So, we will do many books together." And that never happened in that time of Srila Prabhupada, because I was called back to Calcutta to be pujari, head pujari, so I could not travel with Prabhupada. But 30 years later I started writing books with Prabhupada, his inspiration, and his words came true, that we will write many books together. So those books you can see in the back after the class. So his words came true. 30 years later, his words came true. I started to write books. 12, 13, 14 books already. So this is the mercy of the pure devotee. Why is it better to be servant of the pure devotee, and even Krishna? So now last few verses are about creation. Oh, I forgot. Homework. So for tomorrow, I would like you to do something to please Srila Prabhupada. Anybody have some idea? What can we do that will make Srila Prabhupada happy? Some idea? Any ideas? Book distribution, okay? That's one idea. You can sell a book to one person. Any other ideas? What can we do that will please Srila Prabhupada? We can chant Hare Krishna. We can go to the temple for arti. So tomorrow try to do something extra. So the next few verses are about creation. In the beginning, only the Lord was there and nothing else, and he glanced at Maya Devi and the creation started. Then, so the Lord is the seed of this world, and this world is like the tree. Why can't we see Krishna here? Brahma, he went, he was the firstborn. He went, he climbed down his lotus flower, looking, he could not see. Because once the seed, if you have a seed and you plant it, then it becomes a plant, then you can't find the seed anymore. You can't find it. So the Lord is the seed and this is the plant. So that's why he couldn't see. Where is the seed? The seed was already gone. So Mahavishnu, he's sleeping on Shesha, Yoga Nidra, and he's very happy. So Prabhupada explained that where do we get the idea of going to the ocean or the river or the lake and going on top of this rubber and sleeping on the mat, on this rubber floaty? We get it from Mahavishnu, because he's the first one who did that. He's lying down on the very cool body of Shesha and floating. So in the West, maybe not in India, but many people, they are going on these floating things, and when they go in the pool, in the river, in the ocean, the lake, and they're enjoying. And they get the idea from Mahavishnu, that he was the first. So then after that, Brahma is born, and he looks for his source. He could not find. He climbed back up, he did austerity, created this world, and of course, after that he got the darshan of the Lord by performing austerity. So Brahma's austerity was very difficult, but we have very little austerity. Only chant Hare Krishna and follow 4 principles. That is our austerity. Not so difficult. Try to get up early in the morning and go to Mangalarti and chant Hare Krishna. So, we will stop here. Tomorrow you try to do something to please Srila Prabhupada. Any questions at this point? Questions or comments? Yes? One small pastime of Prabhupada. I already did. Okay, another one. When in 1970s, I was in Calcutta, Pujari in Calcutta, and there was Radha Govinda, like here, Radha Govinda, Gaur Radha Govinda, no Nitai, Gaur Radha Govinda and Jagannath. So every day, bees were coming to see to the deities. On Radha Govinda's side, big black bumblebees, and they would come, fly around, circumambulate, and go inside lotus flowers. We had big lotus flowers. Then, Jagannath's side, small bees, they will come and they will sit on the garland, sit on the mala of Jagannath. So, if you read Canto 3 Srimad Bhagavatam, you will see in Vaikuntha the bees are sitting on the mala. We had this in Calcutta every day. So Prabhupada, he liked this. He said, when the bees are coming to the deities, then Krishna is pleased with the worship. So this is a sign if the bees are coming. Every day bees were coming. Another time, Prabhupada sent one artist to me to take a picture of Radha Govinda. He said to the artist, you should paint Krishna like this, very young face. Young face. He liked this young Krishna, Prabhupada liked. Another time, I was doing Mangalarti, and I turned around with the ghee lamp, and Prabhupada was standing right behind me. So I was shocked, I didn't know, what shall I do? Should I do puja? Should I give him ghee lamp? What to do? This is Prabhupada. So I think I did very fast puja and I gave him ghee lamp. And then whole arti, he's standing like maybe this much behind watching. So I was very nervous and focused also in that arti, not to make mistake. And afterwards I thought, I should do all my service like this. Prabhupada is standing behind watching me, what I'm doing. I should do all my service as if Prabhupada is watching me. Then I will do nice seva. I will be very focused. I will remember Krishna. Another time, morning walk in Juhu Beach. One thing with Prabhupada, he was like 75, 76. We were 24, 25 years old. But he's very fast, walking so fast. And we don't understand how he's walking so fast, how he's not tired, how we're so tired. We tried to understand with intelligence. We cannot understand. So Prabhupada would be giving class, and I watch him. Every movement is very wonderful. And I was trying to understand, when I see him, he's here in this world or he's somewhere else? He didn't look. He looks like he's here, but he also looks like a movie, like cinema. It looks like he's not here. It looks like he's here and he's not here. So we're trying to understand Where is he? You know, but we could never understand. With intelligence, cannot understand Prabhupada. Another time, Darshanarti, after Darshanarti, because we had so many flowers, decoration. Every day, somebody's donating 50 garlands, pachas mala, every day, roj. 144 lotus, 144 rose, so many flowers. Every day, 5 times, I'm changing the flowers. So one time, Prabhupada, he called myself, my husband, to the Vyasa-san at Shingararti. And he said, thank you very much for dressing the deities so nicely. Then when we were bowing, we were offering obeisances, one sannyasi was there. He said, did you hear what Prabhupada said when you offered obeisance? We said, no, we did not hear. He said, be blessed. We got the blessing. But then, after that, we understood, okay, yesterday we got the blessing, now today we have to also get the blessing, we have to earn the blessing. We cannot just say, okay, I got it, finish. At the age of 25, we finish our devotional life and retire. No, every day we have to earn the blessing of the spiritual master. Every day we have to please the spiritual master. That was some pastimes of Prabhupada. Any other question? Yes? Radhanath Maharaj said if you just pretend or imitate like to be a devotee, then you'll become one.
How do you start pretending?
How do you start pretending? Well, you can wear a sari. You can chant Hare Krishna. It's funny, yes, sometimes in America they have a holiday, it's called Halloween. And people dress up like devotees, some of them. And some of them actually become devotees after just dressing up, like devotees. So pretending means that you come, you offer obeisance, you take prasad, So it's like in the beginning we're just imitating. Our heart is not so much there. So, but by imitating, then we can become devotee one day. Like that. Just follow. Any other questions? Okay. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.